number 2. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Prater the Ballgame, KTIK, The Ticket. Would welcome our video audience to the program, brought to you by the Dollar Loan Center. Prater, I'm just going to say it. Tomorrow is the biggest Idaho Steelheads game of the year. It's 1-1. They're playing the team that led the ECHL in points this season, as the Steelies did last year. It's on Idaho soil at Idaho Central Arena. It'll be, Prater, another Wednesday type of sellout crowd.
Yes, sir.
And we're joined now by one of the top goal scorers in the ECHL. And, we said, well, our goal scorers kind of the pretty boys of hockey. For our video audience, I don't know if I'm looking at Ryan Gosling or Jared Goff right now in Mark Rassell, our guest. Look at this guy, Prater. Yes, I've answered my own question. Goal scorers are the stinking pretty boys. Mark Rassell, welcome to Idaho Sports Talk.
Guys, what an introduction. Appreciate that. Thanks for having me on. I will say the goal scorers are not always the prettiest guys in the world, but, luckily I get to do both. Score some goals. And, Jared Goff, heard that before. I've been him for Halloween couple years back.
You were Goff for Halloween?
Yeah, but I was in Eastern Canada and no one knew who Jared Goff was. So they're like, "Oh, real original, you're just a football player." I said, "Oh no, I'm the one that I look like." But went over their heads.
That's good, man.
The pretty boy stuff works, but I mean your nose is crooked. You forgot to shave this morning. It's not quite all pretty boy, is it?
Well, I mean, it's a playoff beer. You can't shave in the playoffs. Everyone knows that.
That's what it is, huh?
Exactly.
How's this run been so far? I know you got out of the first round, and you guys probably wanted this matchup. I mean, the best team in the ECHL this year. Just what's going through your head right now, Mark Rassell, as you get ready for the ice tomorrow? And, man, what an opportunity for you guys.
Yeah, a lot of excitement with KC, especially. They kind of had our number when they were here in the regular season. They beat us all 3. And then, their first-round series was done before ours even started against Allen. So we knew it was going to be them if we got through Allen. And then to go down there and split was huge for us. And now we got 3 straight on home soil, as you guys say. And, tomorrow's going to be a good one. The Wednesday night games, the sellout crowds that we've been getting, it's kind of advantage us right now with, the 3 straight here.
What makes a goal scorer a goal scorer? I mean, what skills do goal scorers possess or need to possess that other players in hockey or on the hockey team don't have?
Well, I think anyone can score a goal. And I think we're lucky in Idaho where we have a ton of guys that possess that ability to score. And, for me this year, my success has been a product of my line mates, Ty Pelton Bice and Wade Murphy, like just playing with 2 incredible players with their vision. And then basically all I do, the guys joke around, is I just go to the net and tap it in behind the goalie. So my job's easy. I just got to go there, take a little bit of abuse, and then, just put it in the empty net or just a little bit of finishing ability with your hands and the vision. But I mean, it's not an individual effort. It's not an individual sport by any means necessary. So it's the line mates, and it's been working for us so far this year.
I want to dive into that a little bit more because you guys have been playing together all year long, and there's a distinct advantage to that. But let's go back to that game 2 in Kansas City and that win. It may have been a season saver. It may have launched you to another Kelly Cup championship. You never know how these things turn out, but they were so good, and you didn't know the variables because of their rest and so many other different things. So what was the difference in that game? And coming out of that game, what was the difference for you guys as you got on the plane to fly home psychologically, mentally?
Yeah, I mean, when you go in as the underdog technically to a series, all you're thinking about is, if we can split these first 2, then we got 3 straight, the heart of the series at home. Obviously, if it goes game 6, game 7, we're back there and they have more home games than we do. But, like I said, the heart of the series is home. And, to lose the first one, it's like, okay, yeah, obviously we're playing a good team. And, they kind of punch us in the mouth right out of the gates. And then for us to respond on unlimited rest with the 4:00 start in KC and to get that win, come from behind fashion too, it was huge for us. It was huge for our team, and made the plane ride a lot happier. We had about a 3-hour delay. Was probably Cam McGuire's fault, not the airlines. But
he's the worst.
Yeah, 3-hour delay in the KC airport. So it was good. It was honestly good team building. I mean, and obviously it sucks when your plane's delayed and there's storms coming, but it made that day a lot better with all the delays. And then got on the ice this morning, feeling pretty good going in tomorrow night.
What is the mindset? I know it's one period, one shift, everything at a time. I get all that cliche stuff, but what are the advantages of having 3 straight at home now? Obviously in Major League Sports, NFL, whatever. Well, not NFL, but NBA, anywhere there's series, it's 2-2, 1-1-1. You've got 3 games at home. You stole home ice. It's a 5-game series, and you got 3 of them at home. How does that change your mentality?
I mean, the majority of your time in the series is spent at home for us because we flew into KC Friday, played Saturday, Sunday, flew out Monday morning. Whereas, they came Monday as well, and now they're sitting in a hotel, and then they're not flying home till Sunday. We're not flying there till Sunday. So they're the home team in the series, but they're spending this entire week on the road, which I think is an advantage at this level with the 2-3-2. Obviously, having 4 home games if it does go to game 7, and having that game 7 at home is an advantage for them because home ice is important. But I do think just us being in our own beds I keep saying this term about the heart of the series, like games 3, 4, and 5. I think that works well for us. And then having the home crowd, having last change, those little advantages within the rules of the game are huge for us. And we kind of knew this series was going to be a battle. They're the best team in the league, and it's never going to be easy in the playoffs. Never easy this time of year, but yeah, I think it's good for us to have these 3 straight.
Mark Rassell joining us, set a Steelhead record this year, scoring a goal in 8 consecutive games. My partner there was at the first ever Idaho Steelheads game back in 97, Prater?
Yes, sir.
97-98 season. So he's been going to these games a long time. What makes Kansas City so good? Like, where do you guys, when styles make fights, like you guys are obviously, you can play with these guys, you just beat them. Like, what is it about them that makes them good? And how do you kind of, where do you guys match up well against these guys?
Well, they have a lot of skill up front. They got a lot of depth. I noticed, I mean, I'm not a coach and I might be wrong, but it didn't seem like they were using their last change to line match at all. Like they didn't have specific, forward lines going out against our forward lines, where just because of their depth that they have on that roster. I don't know the stats, but they had 3 or 4 30 goal scorers this year. And, a lot of guys, a lot of points. So they have a lot of skill and talent up front. And they know how to score. And then goaltending wise, they have good goalies as well. Matching up, playing a skill team for us is good because, we are also consider ourselves a skill team. We don't like to trade chances. No coach wants you to hear someone say that. But if we have to, I love our goalies. I love our defense. I think, that's something that we have an advantage of is our, we have Register, who's played 1 million games and defenseman of the year a couple times. We've got Patty Cudlow, who just won D-man of the year again. Bartow just came back from the American League. So I think we have a really strong D to go along with our forward depth and our good goalies. So I think that's obviously good for us in this series against a team that has the depth and the scoring that they have.
You're from Calgary, right? You're an Alberta guy?
Yeah, good Alberta boy.
Are you and maybe maybe we got a little note from your buddy here, Cam, but you can't grow up in Calgary and not be a rodeo guy. You don't look like a rodeo guy. Are you a rodeo guy? And our buddy Johnny here is kind of a rodeo guy. He's been to the Pendleton Roundup, which is one of the classics. The Calgary Stampede is one of the classics. I've been to over 100 rodeos, but I got paid because I used to cover rodeo for a living. So you a fan?
Big fan. You're right. I'm not a rodeo guy. I can't be called a pretty boy and a rodeo guy in the same interview. So
That's true. That's true. Although there are a lot of cowboys who pretty looking good jeans and hats. Well, let's not get too carried away.
Well, I get to be a pretend cowboy 10 days a year during the Stampede. So
you go. It's a big deal for you.
Oh, absolutely. It is. It's the best 10 days of the year. It's a blast. I mean, the whole city shuts down. It's not like any other festival where it's, just, the youth's going and having a good time, but none of them have jobs anyways. Whereas, when you're at the Stampede, it's the whole city shutting down. Downtown is the ghost town. Just no one's working, or if they are working, they're clocking out at 1 to go to their company Stampede party. That's somehow a tax write-off, and everyone's having a good time. Everyone's wearing jeans. Everyone's in cowboy hats. It's the pride of the city for 10 days. And then the actual rodeo itself, when you do go, the rodeo, the chucks, all the events that happen it's just so fun to watch. And I mean, there's no way I would ever get up on a bull and go, or
you
a
wouldn't.
horse. No chance.
But you would chase a slap shot that's going 95 miles an hour. By the way, you're going to the Calgary Stampede for the girls, aren't you?
No, not anymore. I got a girlfriend. Okay, got a girlfriend now in Calgary.
You meet her at the Stampede?
One of our first dates was at the Stampede, actually.
Well
and
done.
One of my buddies, we were holding hands, and one of my buddies was like, "Oh, that's how you knew I liked her. You were holding her hand at the Stampede." So that's trouble. But
Rassell's got a girlfriend.
I mean, 27 years old. It was about time, Got to get out of my mom's basement eventually, right?
You can't chase cowgirls in Calgary your entire life, right?
No, you can't. Some people try.
Why do they call you the Worm?
The Worm is actually Corey Perry's nickname in the NHL, and he was notorious for his greasy kind of net front style of play and his ability to score. And when I first came in here, in practice, I was having a few of those kind of greasy goals in front of the net, and then it was translating the games early on, and it was Patrick Cudlow was the first guy to call me the Worm. And And I mean, it's not the prettiest nickname in the world, but I love it. And it's always Cuds with his no teeth smiling and he's screaming worm every time something happens or tells me to go get wormy. And now, Everett Sheen, our head coach, has called me the worm too. So it's kind of stuck. And,
Yeah.
Corey, I mean, it's Corey Perry's nickname, but if that's the player comparable, that's the player comparable.
Why? What is it about hockey players? I mean, nobody ever calls in your name by your real name. You either add a Y or an I, or they come up with a nickname. So that's just weird. I mean, I love hockey. It's the best sport, but that's just a little bizarre for me.
I think it's because, when you're on the ice, it's such a fast paced game. You don't have time to say, all 4 syllables of someone's last name. So,
makes sense because communication's huge for you guys.
Got to be loud. You got to know where each other are. But yeah, Reggie, Cuds, just quick off the cuff, bang, bang plays. Then they got to know where you are in a hurry. And, I don't have time to say Demetrios Komantzis all the time. I just got to call him Como.
Again, we're here with Mark Rassell, Idaho Steelheads, 32 goals scored in 43 ECHL games this year. We got to ask you this. You told us where you're from. I believe last year you were playing at Fort Wayne in the ECHL. So this is your first year with the Steelies, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, just Boise. You probably didn't know jack about Idaho your whole life. You've lived here this year. You know that the Steelies are a first-class ECHL organization. You're living here. What's your thoughts on Boise, Idaho? I mean, AJ White, I think, is going to run for mayor in Boise one of these years, and I think he might win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's an incredible town. I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana last year in the Midwest, and it was definitely a Midwest town. I enjoyed my time there, and that's an organization that's been around forever. They're one of the oldest minor pro hockey teams in the country. And it was a great first year pro over there. And then when I had my free agent rights this summer, I took my time, I did my homework, and a lot of guys, when you're a free agent in the coast, you want to go down south and golf every day and sit on a beach. But I had a lot of people recommend Boise to me, and and I'd Sheener come talk to me early on, and he talked to me a lot in the process. And Keenan Kelly, our assistant coach, who's from Boise, he just highlighted the benefits of living in Boise. And for me, I talked to a lot of people. I talked to guys that were on the team and guys that played here in the past, and it was just it felt like a no-brainer. Especially at the start of the summer, I was saying, I want to go down south and golf every day and have sunny weather. But then in the back of my head, I just had a really good feeling about Boise, and being in the mountains, being out west. The mountain time zone is the best time zone for watching sports, as I'm sure we all know. Just little things like that. I just had a great feeling about coming to Boise, and I definitely don't regret my decision at all.
Hockey in the West has changed, and we're with Mark Rassell, Idaho Steelheads. 3 games, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, downtown Idaho Central Arena as the ECHL Kelly Cup playoffs continue. In terms of a lot of changes, Vegas, Seattle, now Salt Lake City, and obviously everybody has an AHL team. You've been to 3 AHL cities in the last calendar year. You've had a chance. You're 27 years old. You still have a chance to maybe go up to the NHL. And what do you think about the AHL, AAA hockey, and Boise, Idaho? I don't know about the rules. I know we've talked to Trapp about it. Him and his ownership group are very comfortable with the status quo. But do you see Boise being an AHL town? Could it be an AHL town?
I think Boise is the sneaky best place to play in the ECHL, just with the downtown arena and the way the downtown core is in Boise with all the restaurants and hotels there. And then the fan support as well. I think that's the biggest thing about the American League is they need to have minimum number of fans in the rink every night. And I mean, Boise, we get that all the time. So I don't know what the requirements are. I think there's a certain minimum of seats and capacity and little things like that. But I mean, if the NHL keeps expanding, I can't see why Boise wouldn't try to get up to the AHL. I know it's a great ECHL town, but I mean, it's the same, basically it's the same game, just a different league, different competition. And I think Boise would do well with an American League franchise. I mean, obviously the business side of it, I'm not too certain about, but if we're selling out,
you played in the AHL though, is what he's meaning. You're playing in Boise. I mean, for you, dude, this could be an AHL town if Mark Rassell had anything to say about it.
Absolutely, it could be an AHL town. And then you hear, playing in the AHL, you meet guys that have played there before, and then there's teams that that have been in that league that are still in that league that struggle to get the fans that we get consistently. So I mean, I can't see why not, but yeah.
Gotcha.
It's been great. But I mean, I've been blessed too. The teams that I've played for in the American League, one was Calgary, my hometown team. So that was awesome for obvious reasons. And then Texas, our affiliate out in just outside of Austin. I mean, the fans there were incredible as well. So Texas probably wouldn't be too happy if Boise turned into an AHL team because of what we've got going with our affiliation. But
Yeah.
I think it would be a great spot. I'm sure guys would love to, live and play here.
But my partner says you're one of the a few players, maybe the only one currently on the roster for the Steelheads that, might at one point or another catch a couple breaks and get a chance to play in the NHL. Where do you keep that dream, being a professional, chasing a Kelly Cup, but also knowing down the road if you do have a chance? I mean, how often do you think about that? And is my partner crazy thinking you might be an NHL player one day?
That's the funny thing about this sport is you never know. And, I won't say I'm the only guy that has a chance. I mean, we have guys down here on NHL contracts currently that are younger than me that are, developing this year. And then we have players that, are just incredible hockey players that the same thing. If, you catch a few breaks, you never know. You sign a contract in an organization and, a few things happen. And then, I just think you never really know what's going to happen. And you just have to keep that dream alive, keep building every day because, in any career, what are you going to do if you're not working towards, being the best version of yourself? So keep playing at the best level that I can play at. And that's all I can control. And hopefully, maybe one day I get up to be a full-time American leaguer and then, a few more breaks up there and, slip into the league for a little bit, but you never know. But you got to keep the dream alive, right?
Yeah. Well, let's get goal number 33 tomorrow, Mark,
Well, technically I'm at like 37 right now.
Dang it, man. I'm going to blame Cam McGuire.
Yeah, it's usually Cam's fault. Yeah, I've already had a few in the playoffs, but
let's get one, man.
Let's do it.
It's a big game tomorrow. So always appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
It's Mark Rassell, goal scoring sensation. By the way, Steelies, you want tickets to tomorrow night? We are giving some away today during Rock Jocks and Pop Culture, our trivia segment on Prater and the Ballgame. Catch you in a second on Idaho Sports Talk.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.